Hello and welcome. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been rejected and left confused, wondering why? Maybe it was a text that went unanswered, a date that didn't lead to another, a conversation that faded into silence. And in that silence, you found yourself spiraling, asking, what did I do wrong? You're not alone. But here's a powerful truth. You may not have done anything wrong. Today, we're going deep into one of the most painful and misunderstood experiences men face. Rejection, but not through pity, not through blame, through power. Watch a man experience rejection on camera multiple times. But the lesson isn't in the no. It's in how he holds himself afterward, with grace, with dignity, with quiet, centered strength. Because a high-value man does not fear rejection. He understands it, respects it, and grows stronger from it. We'll break this down into 5 powerful principles that will forever change how you see rejection and how you carry yourself through it. 1. Rejection is rarely about you when a woman says no. It can feel like a mirror reflecting your flaws. You start questioning, was I not attractive enough? Did I say something wrong? Did I misread her vibe? But here's a powerful reframe. Most rejection has far more to do with her than it does with you. She could be emotionally unavailable. She could be recovering from a recent heartbreak. She may be comparing you to a fantasy shaped by unrealistic standards. Or maybe, she just had a bad day. She's stressed, tired, distracted, mentally elsewhere. You weren't rejected because you lacked value. You were rejected because she wasn't in a place to receive it. Think of rejection not as a reflection of your deficiency, but of her readiness, and even if her reason was about you, perhaps your energies didn't align. Your values clashed, or the chemistry was off. Does that truly make you less? Of course not. Not every job is for every applicant. Not every flavor suits every taste, and not every woman is meant for every man. What matters isn't her decision. What matters is how you interpret it. 2. The Stoic response, composure in the face of discomfort. You opened up. You were honest. You took a risk, and she didn't feel the same. Now comes the defining moment. Do you shrink, apologize, or worse, lash out? No. You breathe. You nod. You say, I understand, and you mean it. That moment, it reveals your inner foundation. Most men are conditioned to tie their worth to how women respond. So when she says no, they either collapse or fight to prove themselves. But a Stoic man knows, her rejection does not define my value. My response doesn't perform, he doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He respects her choice and his dignity equally. And women notice this because when you meet discomfort with calm instead of chaos, you radiate something most men never learn to embody. Power. Through restraint. 3. Surface-level tests versus deep masculine grounding. What if she hasn't fully rejected you? What if she's testing the waters subconsciously or not? She pulls away slightly. Her tone shifts. Her replies become less enthusiastic. It feels like rejection, but often, it's not. She's watching to see, will he crumble under ambiguity or stay anchored in his value? These aren't manipulative games. They're biological and emotional checks because a woman wants to feel safe in your presence. She wants to know, can you remain centered when things get unclear? Will you overreact if she isn't constantly affirming you? If you become needy, chase harder, or try to resell yourself, you signal a lack of inner security. But if you stay calm, respectful, and non-reactive, she feels something rare. A man who doesn't derive his worth from her approval. That's magnetic. 4. Don't let rejection rewrite your identity. Here's where men get stuck. They make rejection personal. They allow a woman's disinterest to carve into their confidence. But here's the truth. Rejection is feedback, not a final judgment. Just like not getting hired for one job doesn't make you unemployable. Not being chosen by one woman doesn't make you undesirable. But you are not here to be everything for everyone. You're here to be fully you for the right woman. And that means facing rejection without it shaking your foundation. You hold your head high. You say thank you when it's time to walk away. You don't chase, but you don't close either. You remain open, authentic, resilient. 5. Rejection as a rite of passage. Every powerful man has been rejected. Not once, many times. But he didn't let it define him. He let it refine him. Each no became a lesson in humility, a sharpening of standards, a reminder of what really matters, because you can either let rejection make you bitter, or let it make you better. Let each rejection be a doorway to deeper clarity, stronger self-awareness, and greater emotional leadership. Because when the right woman comes along, she won't have to guess who you are. She'll see it. She'll feel it because you stood tall through every storm. Final words: if you've ever felt not chosen, misunderstood, or invisible, remember this: her no is not your ending. It's a redirection. Walk forward, not colder, not harder, but steadier. Because the man who can walk away with his self-worth intact is the man who will one day be truly, deeply chosen. And that choice will come from clarity, not confusion, from readiness, not pressure. Until then, breathe. Stand tall and carry yourself like the man you're becoming. The world notices, and so will she, certainly. Here's a *** more detailed, an enriched version *** of the passage you shared, expanding the emotional depth. narrative flow, and practical insight while preserving its masculine tone and grounded wisdom. She begins to feel something else entirely. Not just interest, not just chemistry, something deeper, a quiet gravity she can't name at first. She begins to sense your depth. This is the part no one teaches men. You were taught to chase, to impress, to prove yourself. You were told that love is a prize you win, with clever lines, status symbols, grand gestures. But masculinity means domination, not presence. But attraction, real, lasting attraction isn't pulled by noise. It responds to presence, to the stillness beneath your words, to the energy you bring when you're not trying to be anything but yourself. And when she senses that you're not here to convince her, that you don't need her to validate you, when you meet her uncertainty, not with desperation, but with calm, she pauses because most men don't. Most men chase reassurance. They try to plug every gap of silence with explanation, jokes, or praise. They panic when things slow down, mistaking stillness for slipping away. But you're learning something rare. You're learning to respond, not react. And your response isn't just in what you say, it's in what you embody. This isn't about playing it cool. It's not about detachment or feigned indifference. You don't become magnetic by shutting down your feelings. You become magnetic by holding them without being ruled by them. You've stopped seeking control over her and instead found mastery over yourself. That's what shifts the entire dynamic. She may test you with distance, with slower replies, with a sarcastic comment or two that used to send you spinning. But now, instead of spiraling, you see it for what it is. It's not a trap. It's a mirror. She's not asking you to perform. She's asking, can you hold space for me? Even when I'm not easy to love. You're no longer trying to pass her tests, because you've stopped testing yourself. You know your worth isn't hanging on her validation, it's anchored in your integrity. That alone separates you from most men. It's the difference between charm and character. She may not even realize she's testing you. It's often subconscious, an instinctual scan for safety. She's reading your silences. She's watching what you do. When you're misunderstood, she's noticing whether you need her approval to stay grounded, or if you can hold your own without leaning on her to feel whole. She's wondering, can this man handle emotional depth without collapsing? Can I trust the man beneath the smile? Because eventually, she won't be effortless. The sweetness will fade into realness, of the ease will give way to complexity. And when that happens, she's not looking for perfect. She's looking for steady. And you are steady now. You've stopped chasing comfort at any cost. You've stopped giving up your center. To win attention, you've traded short-term validation for long-term clarity. You've realized a woman doesn't fall in love with your performance. She falls in love with the foundation. And if that foundation is made of stillness, confidence, emotional maturity, she'll feel it. She may not say it aloud. She may not even understand it consciously. But something in her will soften, because you're not just attractive anymore. You're substantial, and substance always scales. She isn't rejecting you when she pulls back. She's waiting to feel what remains after your surface fades. And if what remains is solid, she will see it. She will feel it. She will trust it. Rejection is a filter, not a failure. You stand there, still. Her words land with a quiet finality. No drama, no rage. Just space and absence. She disengages without mess, and somehow, that stings more than yelling ever could, because it feels like she saw you, really saw you, and still chose not to stay. That's the moment men fear most. When it feels like your full self was on display, and it wasn't enough. But here's what you've come to understand. Her rejection is not your failure. It's not a verdict on your worth. It's a filter, not a flaw, a boundary, a clearing, a kind form of honesty that protects you both from building a future on unstable ground. You remember how you used to handle rejection. Every no felt like an indictment. You'd replay conversations, obsess over what you could have done differently, overanalyze the tone in her texts, search for flaws in yourself, anything to explain, why. But with experience comes clarity. You see now, rejection is rarely about you, it's about the fit. It's about alignment, it's about the invisible chemistry neither person can fabricate. You finally understand if you have to talk her into attraction. You've already lost the plot. Desire doesn't come from being polite, it comes from being moved, emotionally, energetically, viscerally. You stop mistaking politeness for potential. You stop confusing friendliness with interest. Now, when she pulls away, you don't chase, you match her energy, not as a defense, but as a form of self-respect. You hear the truth behind her withdrawal, even if she doesn't say it aloud. And instead of asking, why wasn't I enough? You whisper, thank you for the clarity. Because clarity, even when it stings, always sets you free. Weak men resist rejection. Strong men accept it without collapse. Because rejection isn't the end of your value, it's the beginning of your redirection. It's how life says, not her, not now, not this path. You stop auditioning for love. You stop rewriting yourself to be chosen. You start trusting. If it's real, she'll know, and if she doesn't, that's your sign. Asterisk, asterisk, become the man who doesn't flinch, asterisk, asterisk. She may never say it aloud, but she notices. She sees how you respond when the mood shifts, when the text's slow, when the energy feels uncertain, when she pulls back, not to punish you, but to see you. And in that pause, in that space, your character is revealed. Most men rush. They explain. They overreact. They try to fix what isn't broken. Or they perform detachment, a hollow version of masculinity that's all surface, no spine. But you've evolved. You've stopped expecting her to carry the emotional weight. You've stopped leaning on her presence to feel strong. You've learned to hold that space yourself. You don't flinch now. You sit with the silence. You let it breathe. You don't mistake discomfort for danger. You stay, not because you're indifferent, but because you're anchored. This emotional stillness, this inner composure, it's not passive, it's power. It's not coldness, it's clarity. You're no longer ruled by her reactions. You don't crumble under her criticism. You don't retreat when she gets complex. You remain whole, grounded, kind, and unmoved by the drama of the moment. She may test you again and again, just to be sure, not to sabotage, but to asterisk. Verify asterisk. Is this stability real? Can I lean on it when I need to? And when she finds the answer in your stillness, something softens. She finds herself drawn in, not by your charm, but by your core, because safety, real safety, is magnetic. And the man who doesn't flinch when the emotional weather turns, he becomes her safe place. Not through performance, through presence. And in a world where everyone's shouting for attention, the man who's calm, composed, and confident in silence, that man is unforgettable. He doesn't chase validation, he becomes it. If this message resonated with you, let it sit in your soul a while, not just as theory, but as a new way of moving through the world. Because the man you're becoming, he isn't afraid of rejection, he's refined by it. And every test, every silence, every no, just makes your yes more powerful.